doing? Where's my guy?
What hat is that?
Here we go. What hat's what?
You had a hat that was like on the thumbnail screen of sorts. It looked like it had some.
Oh, this one? Okay. This is the Guam. This is the Guam hat. Yes. This is my boy Ethan Lizama. Ethan Lizama moved here from Guam to San Diego to get a shot, play baseball. And then check this out. JUCO Bandit going to Gulf Coast State, located in Panama City, Florida, about 2 hours from John Tenzez's hometown and the division that I play junior college against. And they just feed the SEC. That's what their job is.
I played Gulf Coast State. I do remember this.
They played against Chipola as well.
They have a very nice field. I remember playing at that field.
Beautiful field. Nice.
Beautiful field.
Trees and left, about a mile away from the beach. Real cool spot. Real cool spot.
So it's funny that you bring that up. So I think we talked about this last podcast. Remember when I told you I shit the bed in front of the scout?
Yes.
Gulf Coast. We were at Gulf Coast State. Yeah. We weren't playing Gulf Coast State. So let me tell you. All right. I'm going to keep this. This is a great story to start a podcast on. So I got really hot to start technically it was my freshman year, or excuse me, my sophomore season, but I was 21. I hadn't really played any baseball, but I had one at bat, so I couldn't get a red shirt. The next year I didn't play, and then the year after that I got hurt. So I had played college baseball for 3 years, hadn't really done anything, but I had graduated at 17. So like that year kind of like gave me like an extra year of sorts, right? So I was 21 playing at Vincennes. I was hitting 400 plus, 2 home runs, 4 or 5 doubles, just really hot, a lot of RBIs, a lot of walks, didn't strike out a lot to that point. I got really sick before we went on a spring break baseball trip to Panama City. So sick, I had to go to the local hospital, get 2 IV bags. So get those 2 IV bags. We got to take a 12-hour bus trip all the way down to Alabama to play Wallace State, who is a
Watch out, Wallace.
So,
dope in Alabama.
They're dope, by the way. That's where what's his name he used to play for the Rangers and lefty.
You just oh god. Yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Mustache. Holland. Derek Holland. And
yes.
Craig Kimbrell went there.
Wow, Kimbrell went to Wallace State too.
And shout out to one of my buddies I played with in Palm Springs, Billy Reed. He played against the team that I played against, and now we're hunting buddies. How crazy!
So let me just throw this out here. JUCO for people to understand, Alabama and Mississippi have full scholarships to junior colleges with dorms and food with unlimited rosters.
And
so Wallace State had 100 kids at their school. They have a full, double JV team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're really good. They're
also,
really, really good.
Also, Alabama has 2 lines. The state of Alabama, junior college, have 2 lines that are not on any other baseball field in America. Do you know what they are called?
What are they?
And where are they located?
Is it the Mason-Dixon line?
No, good one. That was a good one. Good play. Good effort. I'll give you one more.
I don't know. You're from the South, so hit me.
There is a line that is directly in front of the dugout called the fight line, and if you cross the fight line, then it's an automatic ejection.
That's why I like playing baseball in the South, because then you hear stories about Alcorn State.
It gets heated.
Dude,
they're too nice out here. I always remember somebody breaking up a double play or scoring, or you know what I mean, fist bumping and yelling, and then you just wanted to, oh my god, I want to hurt him.
I love
Like
that. I love
that. It brings me to another point too. Like, I understand hitting the guy with the ball to get back at him, right? But just like the game's more important to me. So I'd rather embarrass you and strike you out than like hit the guy. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't. He gets first base. Like, I understand there's some pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how about you don't deserve to be on the field. Go back to the dugout. What about that? Why are you here? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I just struck you out on 3 pitches. You look like
What are you doing? Get out of here. You don't belong here.
Eat my shorts.
When we do live ABs and I'm with the young kids, the Force, shout out Force Sports, going to Georgia, going to Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. The 14th through the 22nd, I'm going to be trying to doing some networking out that way. I need to make a post and like set up some stuff. And then, dude, I get to see my dad. My dad's driving up from Florida. We're going to go to a Braves game.
He's a great artist.
Braves Padres. So,
because you're a Braves fan growing up.
What am I going to do? I got Acuna and Tatis on the same field. Oh my goodness.
Who do you think Acuna is the best player on that team? I'm a huge Ozzy Albies fan. I'll be honest. Anybody that plays second base and is good, for some reason, I lean towards that guy as being a glue to that team.
Really?
Second basemen don't get enough love. Shortstop get all the love.
He's the primary double play turner.
He's obvious. It's 6-4-3. You know what I mean?
Hey, and it's 2-4 caught stealing a lot too.
Yeah,
you know
a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Plus, like, the second baseman at this age, he's playing, like, rover position. Like, he's playing in center. Now he's over right. Now he's playing shortstop. Your shortstop's playing behind the first baseman now. I don't know why, but that's just what we're doing.
That's just what's happening.
This is what we're doing. But, anyways, so Wallace State, at the time, I was so sick, and I'm going to make this safe for TV, but still kind of funny.
The internet, let it ride. The internet, ride. Come on, don't censor.
I had pretty much shit my pants while we were driving down there, like while I was sleeping. Like, it was incredible. I don't know what happened. And like, we all wake up and like everyone on the bus is like, did you shit your pants? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, wow, I did. I was so sick in my sleep. I had shit my pants.
Oh my
which
God.
is amazing. And
That's
so
bad.
I clean up. Mentally, I'm still in this space, and it took me a while to get out of that space. And my coach goes, hey, can you catch today? And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, no, I can't catch today. It was like, well, like, we're playing like this really, I want you to play today. Like, there are going to be scouts to be here. And I was like, all right, I can DH. And so I'm just like mentally still in this space. Now, this is the power of maybe my mental game at that point. I had gone, routine-based approaches on at-bats, routine-based approaches on deck circles, mental work before the game, going through at-bats. I had done enough of that to where when I did it in the game, meanwhile, I'm really sick, dude. Like, I was throwing up. I had, like, a lot of – dude, 2 IV bags 24 hours before this game. You know what I mean? Like, I was really sick. And
we could say you were dying.
I was like low-key dying, but again, we're gamers. And this is a true story. If anybody wants to confirm this, like with Vincennes baseball, like go ask him. So we go play Wallace State, and there is some dude, big, long dude, throwing about 90, maybe 91, but he had arms that looked like he could scratch his kneecaps without bending over. Just release the ball at 50 feet. Just really long. And there were scouts in the stands with guns. And we had heard this guy is such and such a Red Sox prospect. We're like, okay. And I'm hitting second. And I just wiped my butt like 10 minutes ago. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So first pitch, I'm just sitting dead red. I'm like, please just give me a fastball. I'm sitting dead red. I get lucky enough, and I was calm. I was just doing my approach, making sure I was in the moment. Double down the line. Second at bat, game recognized game. He goes first pitch. And I take it. And dude, honestly, like I was sitting in the box. I was like, I can only swing once. Like if I try to swing multiple times, like I don't know what's going to happen. Like I might like, huh! You know what I mean? get another base hit on a back-to-back slider. Then I think he struck me out. I don't really remember what happened the rest of the game. But I just remember that night going to bed and the next day waking up fine. Crazy, right? We played another game, but I wasn't really fine. We played another game. That's when we got to Gulf Coast State. Meanwhile, we just got our ass kicked on our way down to Panama City Beach for some reason. We're going to drive 10 hours. We get smoked 10-2 by Wallace State. We're going to finish this 4-hour drive down to Panama City. You guys are going to play at 12 tomorrow. Sick. Like, that was awesome turnaround, right? Junior college baseball, though, right? So now we're playing Gulf Coast State. I'm in front of that scout. So if I had had the energy from the day before that I had mentally, I would have been there. But I thought I would get ahead of the sickness, so I didn't eat, and I drank a lot of coffee. Sorry, Carson Cox. Drank a lot of coffee.
Carson, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to leave if you try to us one more time. All right, we're not the guys. Okay, if you can't handle it in the box, you can't handle it on the podcast. All right,
true.
Take a walk.
Plus, I'm not directing it towards anybody but myself. So
it's literally shit talking about it. Shit.
Yeah, like in essence. So essentially, I pulled I'm gonna not eat, not drink water, and hopefully like this flushes out. Had too much coffee. I know that. And I was like so jittery in the box, I couldn't calm down. That's how I ended up not being able to, whatever you want to call, succeed in front of a scout. Like, okay, can you answer me this? I heard this bullshit, and I'm going to say that for Carson. I heard this bullshit when
it's about to get rated R.
Yeah.
It's about, you asked for it. You just asked, you just told a couple baseball players to not talk like fucking baseball players. Ugh.
Not even that. You just
have some fucking feel.
Yeah. You can't tell people what to say. You know, just let them talk.
My mom's pissed too right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, anyways, I heard this growing up, and I get so frustrated at this. The idea of you can go 0 for 4 and a scout's still going to call you. I don't think so. No. I don't think that that's a thing. You know what I mean? Like, that was something that you just run hard 90s, blah, 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 like hustle. We kind of talked about that yesterday, maybe the day before, where it was like the idea of like, hustle's not going to get you a scholarship all the time. Like, you should also be good at baseball. Like, you should also be able to drive the ball and get out. Like, let's talk about your 0 for 4. Like, was it the most impressive 0 for 4 ever? Like, you hit 4 screaming line drives to the gap, and the center fielder was just in the right spot, or the left fielder. Like, that's a much different 0 for 4 than just, you know, I hit 4 ground balls and I ran hard. Like, let's be realistic about what we're looking at. And so, have you ever had a bad game and someone came up to you and was like, hey, I'm such and such. Great job today?
No, I didn't get recruited. So
Never.
No. Never got recruited.
This idea of hustle is what creates like so much. It does create a lot, but then at the end of the day, like, what happens when that guy's talented and he just hustles a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's getting farther just because he knows not only how to work hard, but maybe he's just a smart guy.
Well, you know? Well, okay, let's be honest. Hustle needs to be something that happens during the play.
Yeah. Right?
It's during the play. It's
hustle's living. Right. It's like a living thing.
Right. It's not like the story I told you the other day where I watched high school kids with their bags on their shoulders sprint to the dugout from the clubhouse down the line.
Yeah.
Dead sprint. Because there's no walking on the field. It's like
zero walking on the field, right?
No, that's not how the game. Yes, there's plenty of walking. Like, this is, dude, you got to run all. Guy ran all the way
play
from
shortstop
into
for
the
a
dugout.
second.
Didn't even get a ball. Yeah.
That's baseball. That's literally like 90%.
Yeah, he just did a circle.
I watched baseball like this forever. I'm telling you what, like so many times that I saw like my shortstop, and then just like walk. Just like walk. You know what I mean? Like they're not sprinting.
You know? Yeah, for sure.
There's plenty of literal times to where like, yeah, you should run hard. Go run hard. You know what I mean? Like you're at a showcase. You're a fast guy. You should run hard.
Oh, you mean now? Now we're displaying speed? Okay, cool. I'll go do that.
Yes. Be fast. Like be Dion, dude. Show up. Like shades, chain, Jerry curl, limo. Don't stretch. Run a 40 and a 4.2, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like the same guy that's hustling is the guy that's like taking G hacks on the on deck circle while everybody else is doing in and out. Like just he's just getting ready for the game. Like, what's he doing? He's hustling, getting ready.
He's hustling. He's
hustling. He's
locking in.
He's locking in.
He's locking in.
Which hasn't started yet.
Like, think about this. Hustle is that military concept of just like if everybody runs on the field again, we're all the same. Right. You know what I mean? It's just. But here's a discipline thing that I think is relevant to that. Like, you got to expect the same to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, if you just want people to just run everywhere, I remember I had a coach in junior college. He was one of the funnier assistant coaches, right? And he was just like, look, if you just move your hands fast, it'll work. So I was just like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? But it's like, just the concept that they just want to see that you're trying to get from point A to point B with a tempo, up tempo. You know what I mean? Like, just move forward up tempo. That's fine. But once you start getting into like, you're not hustling, so now we're going to sprint after the game or we're going to sprint before the game. I've done that. I've had a coach had a sprint before the game. Like, what are we doing? We just ran 20 sprints for no fucking reason.
Well, and think about it too. Like, I don't remember getting in junior college. We had a system, right? And our warm up was like a circuit, and you kind of like part of your jog was your warm up. It was very interesting. Like, we would go from each dugout, from behind home plate, right field and left field, right? And there were 5 points, and you would just run this star, but the jog was timed to when people jogged there, that was part of their run, right? So it was just a good use of time, right? And so like that would be your thing. You would jog over here, and then you would like do arm circles and bands and stuff. Then you would jog over here, and you do leg swings, right? And then stretch and jog over here and do some weight. Like it was a thing, but you would jog. It wasn't hustle. It was like a jog. It was a thing. You know what I mean? And then I've been on. If you're not sprinting, like I remember having to. By the way. I remember having to back up first base as a pitcher on a ground ball to the short.
How does that happen?
You sprint behind the runner. You have to let him run in front of you, and then you go behind him. Because if you cut him off,
like a screenplay with the ball.
If you cut it off, they can call instruction. Yeah. And that was
hustle. In a screenplay.
That was hustle. Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah. See it all the time. I'm like, where are you going? Oh, bad throw. I'm like. It's gonna ricochet to right field. Like, you're never getting the ball.
And like at the same time, the amount of ground that the pitcher has to cover in order to make that play is absurd. Like, the right fielder's right there. Get his ass over here. Tell the pitcher to go behind third. Everyone else, chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Crazy.
Sorry, Carson. I don't think that hustle is like, my dad said something about a coach that I had. I had a lot of poor coaches. Right? I don't know if they're bad people, but they definitely made some bad decisions. He said something, he goes, that's all I know. They just definitely made some subject decisions. They're definitely up for discussion.
Oh, man. Good one. You're on fire today. You're on fire.
It's Tim Dillon, dude. All of you need to go out and watch Tim Dillon. He's inspired me to just speak my truth. Imagine a coach that wins, right? And this is how my dad explained it to me. He has the right to a certain lack of character because he makes up for it in getting W's. And in reality, he just joined here. What's up, Dad? In reality, a coach that wins Like, if you've seen Varsity Blues, John Voight, no one gave a shit what John Voight was putting into Paul Walker's knee, right? They were just loading it up. And then when Paul Walker blows his ACL out, the doctor goes, yeah, there was a lot of scar tissue in there, right? And he's got like 19 state championships, right? It's like, no one ever said he was a good guy.
Yeah.
Right? But then you don't have to have a super winning coach, right? And let's go the other route, right? So maybe trying to think of a Disney, I mean, Coach Carter, but not really. But the idea of like, if you're getting results off the field, like your kids have good GPAs or they're doing community service or that there's a lot of positive community aspects to your baseball team and you're not winning, that's also okay, right? Because like you're good for the community and the school, like you're doing some stuff. You may disagree, but like this is, and we can talk about that. I'm not saying this how it is, but like that guy, he can not win and it's okay because he's a good guy. And there's a lot of colleges where that's kind of how it is. I'm not saying I agree with it, but you can't be the tyrant and suck, because then you for sure get fired. You know what I mean? Like for sure,
yeah.
Like, you're out, right? And then you definitely can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time and just permanently suck, because then they're like, well, we'd rather have an asshole that wins, right? Like, because no one wants to come to our school and play baseball, and our conference is pretty good at it, right? Because there are schools that are like that. So you made a funny face. So tell me about your funny face.
Well, you know,
I don't believe that those are right, but those are some things that happen, right? As a part of like,
that's just like staying in your lane. The guy that's doing the right thing should not be coaching the sport. He should be a mentor.
Right. Or an assistant coach.
Right.
Not a head coach.
Learn the thing first before you coach it, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I mean, I think there's just a lot of people that shouldn't be involved. That's all. That just have no business being involved in the process. But it's also because they've never been there.
It's true.
So, like, how can you explain this process if you've never been there?
Like, winning.
Because, hold on. Because anybody can teach mechanics.
That's true.
Anybody can evaluate mechanics and look at video and start understanding, and over time make correlations between. But it's like, what are you using that for?
Just thinking about the idea of like, so let's say you're the mechanics guy, right? What? I'm not you. I'm just like, you're the mechanic.
No. Yeah.
You're the mechanics guy.
Wait, no, hold
No,
on.
wait. I am?
Me? Him?
Or
Wait,
you?
are we talking about the other guy?
My dog?
The guy? What's his name?
I don't know who he is. I don't like him. That's what I'm saying. That's all I know. I don't like the guy.
Great name.
You're the mechanics. Dude, I used to have a pitching coach. He literally used to address the team. He used to, like, you know how when coaches walk out to the mound, they look at the umpire and they give him the old, like, hey, I'm going to go with this guy? He used to say that. So we'd be talking, and he'd be like, you know, John, I thought that you did a really good job of, you know, getting out in front. I swear to God, he used to, like, just like that. Like, it was amazing. It was like a nervous twitch. He's just, like, calling in the next guy, right? So that guy was a very good pitching coach, right? I'll even use that guy. He was the mechanics guy, right? Where does that go? Like, I just talked to my buddy on the phone, and he was like, dude, our team can pitch, but we can't hit, and they're a summer ball team, right? And the idea is, like, you got all these coaches that do all these things, like mechanic coaches or, like, position coaches. Like, he's a hitting coach. He's a shortstop coach, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? You are just a throwing guy. Like, you do pitching, yes, but you can help anybody that throws anything pretty much. You could probably figure that shit out, right? But it's these, like, roles that I feel like guys, they go into, and then they don't broaden out and expand. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, I just focus on pitching mechanics. And it's like, but you guys are losing. Like, let's talk about, like, okay, now that you know how to go like glove side fastball because your shoulder and all that, let's talk about like the pitches that you throw there and then what you use those for and how to weaponize that, right? Like mechanics guys only go so far, just like nice guys only go so far. Assholes can only go so far, right? But hustle only goes so far. It only really works when you hit a ball in the gap.
Yeah.
Maybe a hard like so I have a question for you. Like an honest to God, if you could redo baseball right now with everything you just got into your head, and I'm going to put you 18-year-old Johnny Sintez with all this shit built up, but the same outcome's maybe going to happen, right? What would you do that would be different, right? Like, who knows where you're going to end up, right?
Well, let's see. I probably, man, that's hard. That's hard. Because there were so many different weird things that happened inside the throwing program, just the whole situation, right? Like, so I would not have thrown sidearm. That was a waste of a year. That was terrible. That got me, I guess you could say, released or whatever you want to call it for, yeah. So anyway, and I would have stayed true to what I felt, and would have been, I did, once I really started watching more slow-mo, once YouTube came around and there was more slow motion and more video analysis of what was happening, because just people were putting it out more, it made it a lot easier to see what people like Justin Verlander did when they threw, and then you could also see how they long tossed. Like that's, and I remember the Alan Yeager video of Bauer and somebody else doing pull downs and seeing all that stuff, right? But, for me with my baseball experience and, I did not have a very good baseball experience because the people around me were not baseball people. I was not in a baseball area. I was in
that's a hard thing for somebody. Like
right.
You always say that, and that's incredible.
I was in a sports area that was baseball, basketball. I'm sorry, it was football, basketball, baseball in that order. It was multi-sport athletes. There were people passing around letters and Facebook stuff about, athletes who play multiple sports get the best scholarship, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's not true either. That's not how the best do it. There are some people that do that, right? But like, still haven't seen a successful football, baseball guy make it to one of them. Right. And be really good. Get there. Sure. Right. Get there. Dion was not a very good baseball player, unreal football player.
He had moments. He had moments.
Right.
Moments aren't a career.
Right. He had moments, but like, you look at his numbers, he didn't win a World Series. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it was as if he was a Dallas Cowboy. He wasn't a Dallas Cowboy of the Reds. He was not that.
Man. Like, I think a part of it, and with what you said, like, if I had just put you in this area of California with all, like, who you are as a kid, dude, you would have flourished out here.
Yeah.
Baseball around here is like
Oh, you mean I could do this every day?
I mean, San Diego's pretty great. San Diego's a great baseball place.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still California. It's still where I'm from in Florida. It's just the small town that doesn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, like, one of the reasons why I asked you that was I'm talking to one of my, I got a client in a few minutes, but he's one of my, like, 10 more minutes, but we got time. We're about to lift. We're getting strong. He's got a summer ball tournament this weekend. He's going to stay at the Grand Sierra in Reno. Go lose your money and play baseball all at the same time. Right?
That's baseball life right there. Baseball players love a good casino.
Oh, man. The parents get their room and all the kids stay in another room. It's the best, right? So he is fast, right? I told you the other day, like, I think he's holding out on me. The other day, he was like, yeah, I raced this football player and I dusted him by like 15 feet. And then he told me how fast his 40 was. And I was like, how come you don't run that fast when we work together? And he laughed and he was like, I do. I was like, okay, I'm just messing with you, right? But I would have at a younger age, and this came from me doing jujitsu. I think this is the longest it's taken for me to say the word jujitsu in a podcast that we've done so far. So jujitsu taught me like the idea of you need to value the physical attributes, your mental attributes, how you bring those things together. And that's how you build a game, right? So I told you in his last tournament, he stole 11 bags, right? And I was like, dude, you should try to do that every tournament. And if it doesn't happen, figure out why it didn't happen. Like build and build and build and build and just get a data bank of like all these things and all these moves that like you did, because he's pinch running all the time if he's not hitting, right? And if he's hitting, I mean, he says all the time, if the ball hits the ground just a couple times, we had that conversation, he's going to get a hit. So let's build on just get on base and then cause chaos. But like building a game plan to how to use your attributes, I think that's what I would have tried to do. I would have realized like, hey, I'm not the fastest guy, so I need to try to elevate the ball a little bit more and not try to hit so many backside line drives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I trying to hit line drives through the first baseman and the second baseman when truly my game should be elevate a little bit and that ball goes in the gap. Now I get 2 bags, maybe 3 bags, maybe 4 bags. Instead, I was just playing one base at a time.
Yeah, station to station.
So that would have been my change. Build a game. Build a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, let me answer that question, because, like, I would say this, like, man, it's hard. It's hard to say because, like, I had a really good junior year and threw a no-hitter, did, had some good pitches, did some stuff, but I it's hard to say because, like, everything changed so much, right, as it went. So, like I said, I wasn't weird. Nobody from my high school went to college to play baseball 2 years before me and the 4 years after me. So that didn't, when nobody was recruiting our school.
So fascinated with how deep your knowledge is that's the reality that you came from. Because
right. Well, that's a lot of problem solving, right? That's the Joe Rogan experience when you start like evaluating how you got where you were in life and where you're going. How you got there and where you're going is like, just understanding how present you are in the situation, and everything adds up as it goes. It's just like a continuation of stacking of processes that continue to grow and build, right? Right. And so I do remember a summer playing where I was completely on my own, mentally pitching, and was really pitching well and throwing upwards to 88 to 89, and facing just like random people in an adult league in Alabama, trying to just like figure out, am I good still? Am I not? And that was probably the first time that I felt like I had figured it out, of like, okay, so I should just like get better at this. Like, that's all. Like, you just keep getting better at it. Just keep working on like consistency of stuff, and then like working out and doing stuff. And so that was kind of the change. So I would say the thing I would have changed would have been, I probably would have got a pitching coach earlier to start that mental process, because I didn't even know that was a thing until like my senior year. Right? So just being around an expert earlier in my life would have really made a difference.
It's very true. Man, you're so deep though. Like, your snorkel is so long. You know what I mean? Like, you're so deep down there. You're gosh. That's the craziest part about, since we've met and had conversations, is still wrapping my head around that you didn't come from such a baseball heavy culture, which that's crazy. Like, I just can't say it
I did though, because my dad and I.
Right, your dad.
Plays every night, right? We played catch every day. Like, that's all I ever do, right?
Right.
I literally did punt, pass, and kick to throw a football every day just to get my arm strength up for baseball. And then the coaches in high school found out about it and then like tried to talk me into doing it.
Could you kick? Could you kick it?
Dude, I could punt. Like, freshman year, I'm hitting like 60, 65-yard bombs freshman year.
Just
this long leg. Yeah.
That's a boot, man.
That's probably, just thinking back, that's probably the beginning of like skill acquisition in those ideas, right? Because we had this this house that I grew up with, my dad and I would like long toss, and I would just punt these bombs and like kick off the tee when he would get home from work. Like, Dad, can we go practice? And that's what I would do. And we would just go throw and do that. We do that for hours, you know? And then we would long toss, and he couldn't throw me the ball. We'd go to the soccer field, and he would just set buckets up, and I would just throw to him, like just to throw, because he couldn't, you know, we'd heard long toss, but we didn't know what that meant. You know what I mean? We had no idea. So
jogging or yogging? Man,
Yeah.
soft J. Not really sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know you got to get out of here. So last thing I'm going to do, I want to show you this new,
Do I need a ball?
beautiful.
Oh, okay. Wow. Is that a 4-4?
Yeah. Shout out 4-4. We haven't. I'm going to make a video on this soon. Now, look, check this out. There's a story behind this. This is an illegal glove, by the way. Illegal.
Because
Okay?
it's too light colored?
Yes, sir. So
Whack.
in the 2000s, Rawlings made a limited edition of this, right? And this is the glove that I wanted to get, and it was sold out. Okay, so I couldn't get it. Then they banned it, and then they never made another glove like that. So shout out 44 for replicating the dream right here. This is a long play, but hey, I'm a fan. This is 11.25. I'm a real big fan. It's stiff. I got one of those giant hands. You know what I mean? So like, you can only do to Wilson. Like, I gotta like get it off my hand. You know what I mean? Rawlings. If you're a big hand guy, Rawlings 44. This is gonna play. This is nice. We're gonna see this on Live AVs on Friday.
Dude, I'm going to watch some live AVs on Friday. Well, I think my client's here. Hey, go save the world one arm at a time.
Hey, keep creating monsters.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're
Yep.
Later, guys.
See you.